Imagine a world where, I don't know, the greatest martial arts masters you can think of are also the most insidious schemers, where loyalty is, well, it's like a mirage, constantly shifting. And sometimes just a simple act of kindness can lead to the most profound, gut wrenching betrayal. That's the kind of intricate tapestry we're diving into today.
It really is. It's a world where, sure, martial skill might shape your destiny, but it's human nature, with all its deep flaws and sometimes its surprising resilience that truly pulls the strings. It shapes every single twist and turn.
Exactly. So our deep dive today takes us right into the heart of a classic martial arts saga, and it's not just about the thrilling fights, though there are plenty of those. It's about peeling back the curtain on these gripping storylines, digging up surprising facts, and maybe finding some profound insights into power, vengeance, and what it means to be human when the world's constantly on edge. Our mission really is to pull out the key nuggets for you, a shortcut to understanding its depth.
We'll definitely be exploring some incredibly complex characters, intricate plots too. At the center, we're mostly following the journey of Ling Hu Chong. He's this earnest, often kind of bewildered hero who just constantly finds himself tangled up in deception. And right beside him, navigating the chaos, is Ren Yingying. She's incredibly resourceful and utterly devoted.
Then there's Yu Buquan. Ling Wuchang's master seems totally upright, revered even, but as we'll see, maybe not so much. He turns out to be this ruthless manipulator. And we also dig into the tragic story of Lin Pingzi. Starts as an innocent victim, but gets completely consumed by vengeance. And of course, there's a whole host of other figures. All their fates are tangled together in this epic, often morally gray drama.
Yeah, beyond the cool fights and the allure of hidden techniques, what makes this so compelling and why you should care is that it's a fascinating look, almost a warning about how personal grudges can just spiral. They escalate into these huge conflicts involving entire sects.
Right. It shows how secrets, once they're out, can just ripple through society, shattering everything people thought they knew about honor and loyalty.
But, and this is important, it also shows that even in the absolute worst circumstances, when everything seems lost, humanity's capacity for love, for loyalty, and just sheer ingenuity, somehow it still shines through.
Okay, so let's jump right in. There's a scene early on that really sets the tone, shows you the brutal realities these characters face.
We find Ling Hu Chong in a really bad way. He's severely injured, basically helpless. He's completely relying on Ren Yingying's quick thinking and her, frankly, formidable martial skill just to stay alive.
He's critical, and she's his only shield, really.
And right away, we see this surprising, almost shocking side of Ying. They're trying to escape, right? But barely hanging on. And they realize some enemies are approaching members of the King Cheng sect. Now, the mule pulling their cart makes a noise, just a bray.
Which would give them away instantly.
Exactly. And Ying Ying, no hesitation, not a flicker. She raises her short sword and with one clean stroke, severs the mule's head, just like that.
Oh, that's direct.
The text uses this phrase, too extremely clean and sharp. But it's more than just speed. It implies this, brutal efficiency, a totally pragmatic, no-nonsense way of dealing with the threat. It tells you a lot about her right then and there.
Ling Hu Chong, even in his pain, he apparently praises her. Not for the speed, which he expects from her, but for the decision, for stopping the sound immediately. It's chilling, but you see why it's necessary for survival and how fiercely protective she is.
Oh, absolutely. It establishes her immediately. She's not just some damsel. And then, just moments later, as they're still trying to get away, this unexpected fighter shows up, a mysterious old man, and he starts fighting the King Cheng sect members single-handedly.
Okay, stranger danger, or...
Well, what's really weird, and kind of a huge red flag in this world, is the technique he's using. It's the infamous evil warding swordplay.
Ah, the one everyone's after. The one that caused so much trouble for the Lin family.
Yeah.
And requires, self-castration.
That's the one. Its power is legendary, but so are its dark prerequisites and the tragedy surrounding it. The fact that this random old guy is using it, it immediately hints that this supposedly secret technique is spreading, which is a major destabilizing element throughout the whole story.
So who is this guy?
And here's where it gets wild. The big reveal. This old man in yellow, he's Lao Danu, Ling Wuchang's second martial brother, someone he thought was dead.
Wait, what? His own martial brother, presumed dead, now fighting with this forbidden technique. This is a lot.
It's a bombshell, and it gets worse. Lao Danu immediately confesses he was never truly loyal to Huashan sect. Never. He was a mole. planted years ago by Zhuo Lengenchan, the leader of the rival Songjian sect.
Years ago, so this wasn't a recent betrayal. This was a long con.
Exactly.
Right.
A meticulously planned, years-long infiltration. It just shows you the level of scheming and deception happening at the highest levels of the martial world. Utterly chilling foresight.
My head is spinning already.
Hold on, because the treachery goes deeper. Lao Danu then reveals the real mastermind behind part of this. Yu Buquan, Ling Wuchang's own revered master, the supposed paragon of virtue.
No, not Master Yu.
Yes, get this. Yu Buquan gave Lao Danu a fake, evil-warding swordplay manual, deliberately flawed. He wanted Lao Danu to steal it and give it to Zhuo Lengenchan.
Okay, that's next level manipulation. Give your enemy a flawed weapon so they humiliate themselves or get hurt using it, while you maybe have the real one.
Precisely. It was a calculated move to weaken Zhuo Lengenchan, discredit him, maybe even get him killed, and clear the path for Yu Buquan to become the leader of the Five Mountains Alliance. It just shows how far he'd go for power. The ambition completely warped him.
It really makes you question everything about him. Who is this guy?
And it forces you to ask, where's the line between ambition and just corrosive evil? He was willing to sacrifice his own disciples, allies, everything for that leadership spot.
And just when you think it can't get more complicated, Lin Pingzi steps in. The guy whose family was destroyed over this swordplay.
Right. And Lin Pingzi drops his own bombshell. He confesses he has the true evil-warding swordplay manual. He'd memorized it off a hidden inscription on a kasaya, a Buddhist sash belonging to his family, and then he destroyed the original sash.
Memorized it and destroyed the source. Wow, that's cunning, but also incredibly ruthless. He's learned from his enemies, hasn't he?
He's become a mirror image of the ruthlessness that destroyed his family. It's tragic, really. He's so consumed by vengeance, and it leads to arguably the most horrifying moment in this whole arc.
Oh no, what does he do?
He murders his own wife.
Oh.
Yu Lingshan, Hu Chang's childhood sweetheart, stabs right in the chest.
He kills Lingshan, his own wife. Why?
He claims it's to prove his loyalty to Zhuo Lengenchan, to solidify their alliance. It's presented as this cold, calculated sacrifice on the altar of power and revenge. It just rips away any shred of sympathy you might have had left for him.
That's monstrous. Poor Lingshan. And poor Ling Huchang hearing about this.
And the truly heartbreaking part, what makes it unforgettable, is her dying words. She doesn't curse Lin Pingzi. She doesn't ask for vengeance. She pleads with Ling Huchang to protect Lin Pingzi.
Protect the man who just killed her.
Yes. She says something like, no, he can't defend himself, but he can't see. I want you to look after him. It's this moment of just unfathomable, unconditional love, even for the person who betrayed her so terribly. It's devastating.
I don't even know what to say to that. That's profound and incredibly sad.
Ling Huchang is completely shattered. His first instinct is pure rage, wanting revenge, but her final wish just stops him cold, leaves him drowning in grief and moral conflict.
And how does she actually pass away?
She dies softly, singing a Fujian folk song. A song she learned from Lin Pingzi. It's this incredibly poignant, bittersweet final gesture. A symbol of the love she still felt, despite everything.
Just devastating. The layers of tragedy there.
In the aftermath, Ling Huchang just collapses. Grief, his injuries. It's too much. Yingying finds him, takes him to a secluded valley, and nurses him back to health. She plays the zither for him, trying to soothe his spirit. It's a quiet period, a stark contrast to all the violence and betrayal.
A necessary pause, I guess. Do they talk about Lingshan?
They do, and it's a crucial moment for their relationship. Ling Huchang very honestly tells Yingying he can't forget Lingshan, and he hopes she understands. He says something like, Ying, I just can't get Junior Marshall's sister out of my mind. I hope you don't mind.
How does Yingying react? That's a tough thing to hear.
Her response is remarkable. It really defines her character. She basically says, of course I don't mind. If you were the kind of fickle man who could just forget someone like that, I wouldn't value you so highly.
Wow. No jealousy, just acceptance and respect for his feelings.
Exactly. Total understanding and maturity. It solidifies their bond, which is built on this incredible empathy, not possession. Very different from most relationships we see in this world.
That's actually really beautiful. And then there's something about music, right? Tying into the title.
Yes. The Smiling Proud Wanderer. Yingying teaches Ling Huchang the zither, and they discover something fundamental about the music score itself. It's meant for two instruments, the zither and the jiao, a type of flute. It's designed for harmony, for cooperation.
Like a duet.
Precisely. Ling Huchang recalls how the original creators played it together, how the sound was so much richer. It's a powerful metaphor for their partnership. While the world outside is full of conflict and backstabbing, They're finding harmony together. It suggests true fulfillment isn't in solo mastery, but in connection.
A nice contrast to all the darkness. But things don't stay peaceful for long, I assume.
Not at all. The story shifts gears pretty dramatically, moving from that deep emotional resonance to something, well, wonderfully absurd.
Absurd. How so?
It starts with some lighthearted banter between Ling Huchang and Ying Ying about marriage, actually, which leads to Ling Huchang deciding he needs to secretly visit the Hengshan sect.
Okay, another sect visit. How does he go incognito this time?
Well, Ying Ying suggests a disguise, and Ling Huchang, maybe against his better judgment, agrees. He disguises himself as, wait for it, a deaf-mute old woman, specifically the servant from the Hanging Temple they met earlier.
You're kidding. A deaf-mute old woman.
Not kidding. He even shaves his head for the part. The text mentions how awkward and uncomfortable he feels, having only ever disguised himself as men before. You can just picture it.
Oh, this is going to be good. What happens at Hengshan?
It gets weirder. Ling Huchang, in his disguise, finds various martial artists just hanging upside down from trees.
Upside down. Why?
No idea at first.
Yeah.
And there are messages scrawled on their foreheads. Conspiracy failed. Beware of your dog life. So clearly some plot was foiled, and someone is sending a very public, very humiliating message.
Okay. And does it get even stranger?
Oh, yes. Some specific individuals like Buji Hishang, you remember, the boisterous monk, Yilin's father, and the rogue Tian Boguang, they also get hung up, but with personalized insults. Buji says faithless, lechery, and Tian Boguang's is reckless, incompetent.
Personal insults, that adds a layer of bizarre psychological torment.
Right. And Buji, who's usually so loud and shameless, is utterly devastated by his label. He believes it's true, that his deepest secret failing has been exposed. He actually tries to hang himself for real.
Whoa, okay, that took a dark turn. Does he succeed?
No, thankfully he stopped.
Yeah.
But his breakdown leads to this tearful confession, completely out of character for him. He reveals the whole tragic backstory of Yilin's mother.
Ah, the mysterious mother. What's the story?
He admits he fell desperately in love with a nun years ago. Despite their vows, they got together, married secretly, and had Yilin. A huge scandal, obviously, in their world.
A monk and a nun. Okay, so why did she disappear?
It was a terrible misunderstanding. She overheard him casually complimenting another woman's beauty. Totally innocent, he says, but she immediately assumed the worst. Thought he was unfaithful. She left him, heartbroken, leaving only a note with that accusation. Faithless. Lechery.
The same words on the label.
Exactly. And here's the kicker, the big reveal connecting all these strange threads for you listening.
Don't tell me.
The deaf-mute old woman Ling Huchang is disguised as his Yilin's mother.
No way. She was there the whole time, hiding in plain sight.
Yep. At Hengshan, waiting all those years, silent, holding on to that misunderstanding, maybe hoping Buji would find her and somehow prove her wrong. It's brilliant plotting the disguise, the labels, the backstory, Yilin's quiet sadness. It all clicks into place.
Okay, my mind is blown again. So what happens when she realizes who Ling Huchang is?
Well, her voice comes back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
She finds out Ling Huchang isn't an old woman and immediately decides he's the perfect match for her daughter, Yilin. And she tries to force him into marrying Yilin.
Force him? How?
Her methods are extreme. First, she shaves his head properly, declaring him a monk now, suitable for her nun daughter. Then he threatens him with castration if he refuses the marriage.
Castration. Okay, this mother is intense.
She really is. And then she captures Ying too and proposes Ling Huchang just marry both of them. Like, problem solved, you get two wives, monk Ling Hu. It's just peak absurdity.
Marry both. Wow. How does Ying take being captured and proposed to as a second wife?
Even tied up, she apparently blushes when she hears Ling Huchang absolutely refuse, staying loyal to her. It's a small moment, but it shows their connection holds even in this ridiculous situation.
And Yilin, does she know her mom is doing all this?
Not at all. Yilin is completely unaware. In fact, her conversations with Ling Huchang, still thinking he's the deaf-mute woman, are incredibly touching. She confesses her deep, unrequited love for him, but also her total acceptance that he loves Ying, and she just prays for his happiness. It's pure, selfless devotion, a total contrast to her mother's schemes.
That makes her mother's actions seem even more misguided. Does the mother ever figure things out?
Yes, thankfully. She overhears Ling Huchang talking, likely defending Buji or explaining something, and she finally realizes the truth, that Buji wasn't faithless, that he'd been searching for her, heartbroken, for years. It leads to this frantic, tearful reunion between the parents, a really emotional payoff after all the absurdity.
Ah, okay, a bit of resolution there. but I feel like the larger chaos is probably still swirling.
Oh, absolutely. We plunge right back into it. The great conspiracy ramps up, leading to a literal pit of despair. Ling Huchang and Ying Ying discover the entire Hengshan sect, all the nuns, everyone has been abducted.
The whole sect. Kidnapped. By who?
They find out it was Yu Buquan again, Master Yu. And the way he did it is chilling. He used the Sun Moon God sect's Blackwood Command token.
Wait, the token of the enemy sect. How did he get that?
He got it after forcing Ren Yingying to take the Three Corpses brain-devouring pill earlier in the story. It's this awful poison from her sect that requires a yearly antidote, basically making the victim subservient. He used that leverage to get the token from her, or someone connected to her. It shows he'll use anything, even the symbols of the group he claims to oppose, to gain power.
That's incredibly brazen. Using the enemy's own power structure against them and against his supposed allies.
Totally. We get confirmation from Long Fengquang, leader of the Five Venom sect. She was at Hengshan, got drugged with the others, but faked being unconscious. Smart lady. She tells them Yu Buquan orchestrated the kidnapping, planning to consolidate his power and make a move against the Sun Moon God sect. His ambition is just boundless.
So where did he take the nuns?
They follow the trail back to Huashan, Ling Huchang's own home ground. There, they find this hidden cave. Inside, martial artists from Songshan, Taishan, Hengshan, all rivals, supposedly.
What are they doing? Fighting?
No, they're all engrossed, studying these ancient sword techniques carved into the cave walls. They've been lured there by the promise of secret, ultimate power, the ultimate bait in their world.
Ah, I sense a trap.
You sense correctly. Suddenly, bam, a massive rock slide seals the cave entrance. Everyone's trapped inside. Ling Huchang instantly realizes this isn't Yu Buquan's trap. This is Zhu Lengqian's move, his final gambit to wipe out all his rivals in one go.
Trapped in a cave with all your enemies.
And then the lights go out. Or rather, they're plunged into total darkness. Panic erupts. Chaos. People start attacking blindly, hitting friend and foe alike, screaming, clanging steel. The text describes it as pure, irrational fear, like headless flies buzzing around. It's terrifying.
How do you even fight in total darkness?
Well, here's the twist. Zhu Lengqian and Lin Pingxi. They're both blind by this point in the story.
Blind, so they can't see either.
Right, but their other senses are incredibly heightened. They can navigate by sound, by the whisper of air, the feel of movement, hearing the wind and discerning weapons, as the text puts it. Their blindness becomes a terrifying advantage in the pitch black.
Okay, that's a fascinating, creepy twist. How do they know who not to attack? How do they identify allies in the dark?
They use a code. A really crude, vulgar phrase. Go screw your grandma.
Seriously, that's the code. Seriously. If you attack someone and you both yell that phrase, you know you're on the same side. If they don't respond with it or say something else, you kill them. It's brutal, efficient, and kind of horrifyingly brilliant in its own way. Shows the level they've sunk to.
Wow. So how does Ling Huchang survive this? He's not blind and he's not in on the code.
He's incredibly quick-witted. He hears the phrase being used, figures out the pattern almost immediately, and he starts using it himself, mimicking the code to avoid being targeted by the blind fighters while trying to navigate the chaos and find Ying Ying. It must have been incredibly tense.
I can only imagine. Just yelling obscenities in the dark, hoping you don't get stabbed. Does he find Ying Ying?
He does. Amidst all the noise and horror, he hears something else. Faint zither notes. Rhythmic. He realizes it's Ying Ying, striking her zither with coins, creating a distinct sound to signal him. A lifeline in the darkness.
That's amazing resourcefulness from her, too. Using music as a beacon. It really is. It shows their connection. So Ling Huchang needs a way out, or at least a distraction. He knows what drives these martial artists. Power. Secret techniques. So he starts faking it.
Faking what?
Faking the evil warding swordplay manual. He starts reciting lines but mixing them up, using phrases from other less powerful sword arts he knows, but he delivers it like it's the ultimate secret. His voice echoes in the dark.
And the others, desperate for the technique, fall for it.
Hook, line, and sinker. They get mesmerized, disoriented, desperate to hear more, to learn the secrets. And in their greed and confusion, they start fighting each other even more fiercely, trying to get closer to the voice, maybe silence rivals. It's pure manipulation, using their own greed against them.
A brilliant, if desperate move. Does it work? Does he get to Ying Ying?
It works. The chaos redirects. He finds Ying Ying in the darkness. They have this moment of just immense relief, surviving the unsurvivable. You can almost feel them clinging to each other.
Finally, a moment of safety.
Not quite. just as they find each other, just as they embrace. Lin Pingzi and the remaining blind fighters realize they've been tricked. They hear Ling Huchang's voice clearly now, maybe recognize it, and they turn back. They return to the cave entrance area, blocking the only way out again.
Oh, come on. So they're trapped again.
Trapped again. Their fate hanging by a thread, leaving us right on the edge, wondering how on earth they're going to get out of this.
Wow, okay. Well, all right. Through just deception, betrayal, unexpected heroism, and sheer absurdity sometimes, the lines between hero and villain are just constantly blurred.
Absolutely. We've seen these supposed masters revealed as manipulators, alliances forming out of pure desperation, and just the incredible grit people show when they're pushed to the absolute edge. It really does challenge how you think about good and evil in this world.
So thinking back on all that, what are some of the big takeaways for you, for the listener?
Well, one huge one has to be the true cost of ambition. I mean, look at Yu Buquan and Zhuo Lingxian. Their relentless drive for power makes them betray literally everyone, family, disciples, allies, their own supposed principles. It just consumes them, right, and destroys countless lives around them. It really shows how power doesn't just corrupt. It can completely devour a person.
Yeah, you see that clearly. And loyalty, too. It's not simple, is it? We saw the many faces of loyalty. You've got Lao Danu's fake loyalty, a decades-long deception. Then you have Yu Lingxian's heartbreaking, almost incomprehensible loyalty to Lin Pingzi, even after he kills her.
And Yilin's quiet, selfless devotion, just wanting Ling Huchang to be happy, contrasted with the incredibly strong, accepting partnership between Ling Huchang and Yingying. Loyalty here it's messy, it's complicated, it comes in all shapes and sizes, from the purely strategic to the purely selfless.
Definitely. Another thing that stood out was how resourceful people become under pressure. That ingenuity born of desperation. Like Yingying just instantly dealing with the mule, no fuss, just action.
Or Ling Huchang, constantly thinking on his feet, the disguises, figuring out the code in the cave, faking the manual. Even the blind fighters, their terrifying adaptation to the darkness, that chilling code. It shows how adversity forces people to adapt in incredible, sometimes scary ways.
It really does. And despite all the darkness, all the betrayal and loss, there are still these moments. Moments of connection, love, even humor, like the whole deaf-mute disguise fiasco. It points to the enduring human spirit, doesn't it?
I think so. It shows that even when things are at their absolute worst, those human bonds, love, friendship, understand, even finding something to laugh about, they can still survive. They offer these little sparks of light in the middle of all the turbulence. It shows resilience.
It leaves you thinking, though. In a world like that, where your master might be your worst enemy, where seeking ultimate skill leads to, well, depravity, what even is a true master? Is it just about being the best fighter? Or is it something more, something about integrity that almost no one seems to have?
That's a great question. And when all the dust settles from these power struggles, like the one in the cave, is peace ever really possible? Or is it just a pause? A brief moment before the next conflict inevitably starts, testing everyone all over again.
Something to chew on. Is real peace just a temporary illusion in a world driven by such intense ambition and vengeance? Makes you wonder.